You're standing at the edge of a vast, open field where the world feels wide and unbroken. The air carries the faint scent of sun-warmed earth, a soft, grounding aroma that settles into your senses. Around you, tall grass bends in quiet waves, each blade brushing against its neighbor with a hushed rustle, like whispers threading through the stillness. A gentle breeze sweeps across your skin, cool at first, then warming as it lingers, tracing the lines of your hands, your neck, your tired shoulders. In the distance, a single tree stands against the horizon, its leaves trembling faintly, their murmur blending with the low hum of crickets tucked somewhere unseen. The sky stretches above, a pale gold fading into dusk, and as the light shifts, shadows dance lazily across the ground, softening the edges of everything you see. You feel the earth beneath your boots, yielding just slightly, a tender give against the weight you've carried so long. Somewhere far off, a bird calls once, its note hanging in the air before dissolving into the wind's faint sigh. The breeze picks up again, tugging at your sleeves, and with it comes a fleeting sensation, a whisper of something familiar, a presence hovering at the corner of your mind. It's not clear yet, just a shadow of a sound, a flicker of a memory brushing against you like the grass at your feet. You squint toward the horizon, where the field dips and rises, and for a moment, you think you see a figure there, someone waiting, someone you might have known once, their outline blurred by the haze of distance and time. The wind stirs again, carrying the scent of hay and dust, and that feeling grows, a quiet pull, a promise of something yet to unfold. You take a slow breath, letting the coolness fill your chest, and the field seems to breathe with you, alive with the subtle creak of stems, the distant echo of a stream cutting through the silence, the warmth of fading sunlight pooling at your back. There's a heaviness in you, isn't there? It's been there a while, settling into your bones like dust on an old shelf. You remember when the days felt lighter, mornings when you'd wake with the sun, your hands steady as they gripped a shovel or pulled a rope, your breath even and strong as you crossed these fields. Now, that strength feels distant, blurred by a quiet ache that follows you. You see it sometimes in the mirror, a flicker of fatigue in your eyes, a line deeper than it used to be, a reminder of hours spent pushing through when you wanted to stop. It's the weight of years, of tasks that piled up, of moments you meant to savor, but let slip by. Maybe it's the memory of a harvest season when you worked until the stars came out, the pride of it fading into the exhaustion that never quite left. Or the way you used to walk this land without a second thought, each step sure, and now your knees protest, your back stiffens, and the field feels wider than it once did. There's a longing there too for the man you were, for the ease you didn't know you'd lose. You hear it in the silence sometimes, a faint call from the edges of your mind, like a voice you can't place, tugging at you through the haze. It's there when you pause mid-step, when the wind carries a sound that feels like home, yet you can't name it. You've carried this alone, haven't you? The quiet regrets, the nights you lay awake wondering where the time went, the fatigue that clings like damp earth to your boots. It's okay to feel it, the doubt, the weariness, the nostalgia for a body that didn't ache, a mind that didn't wander to what's lost. That voice calls again, softer now, closer, threading through the rustle of the grass, stirring something deep, a memory, a comfort, hovering just beyond your grasp. You're not alone in this, even if it feels that way. The field knows your steps, the wind knows your sighs, and someone is waiting to remind you of what still remains. The breeze shifts, and there he is, a confidant from memory, stepping gently into the field. He's a farmer from a distant summer, his face weathered yet kind, eyes crinkling as he nods toward you. His voice comes low and warm, like the hum of a fire on a cool night, cutting through the faint rustle of grass brushing the ground. Been a while, he says, and the sound of his boots scuffing the earth feels familiar, a steady rhythm against the whisper of leaves overhead. You smell the faint tang of hay on him, mixed with the sun-baked dust of a long day's work, and it pulls you back. He kneels by a fence post, weathered wood smooth under his calloused fingers, and you remember that summer, the way the sun hung heavy, the clink of a metal canteen as you shared water, the distant lowing of cattle rolling across the hills. You were tireless then, he murmurs, his voice blending with the soft creak of the post as he leans against it. Hauling bales, laughing through the sweat. The wind carries the echo of that laughter now, faint but real, swirling around you. He points to a patch of wildflowers, their petals trembling in the breeze, and you see it, another moment, you and him sitting there, the grass cool beneath you, the air thick with the scent of blooming clover. You'd talk about the future, he says, plans big as this sky. The memory unfolds slow, vivid, the crunch of an apple he tossed you, the warmth of the earth against your back, the way the horizon felt endless. Then he turns, his gaze steady, and the suspense unravels. That day by the creek, he whispers, you waded in, boots and all, just to pull that calf free. Water cold on your legs, mud sucking at your heels, and you grinned like it was nothing. The sound of that creek bubbles up now, a distant gurgle weaving through the wind, and you feel it, the strength you had, the joy in the struggle. His presence wraps around you, solid as the soil underfoot. His words a soft tether to who you were. The field sighs with him, the grass bending, the air brushing your skin with the faintest hint of rain long past. You've carried so much, he says, his voice a gentle anchor as he steps closer, the warmth of his nearness like a hearth after a long day. That exhaustion, it's not a failing. It's proof you've lived. The breeze lifts again, soft and cool against your face, easing the tension you didn't know you held. You're still here, he continues, and that's no small thing. His words settle over you, steady and sure, like the earth cradling the roots of this field. Let it go now, the weight, the worry. Feel the tall grass sway, brushing your stress into the wind. He gestures wide, and the faint rustle of the field rises, a chorus of release, each blade trembling as if it's carrying something away for you. That memory by the creek blooms fully now, you, soaked and laughing, the calf stumbling free, the farmer clapping your shoulder with a grin. That's who you are, he says, not the ache, not the fatigue, the man who steps in, who keeps going. The suspense dissolves into peace, a revelation tying you back to your own strength. He kneels again, tracing a line in the dirt with a weathered hand, and his tone deepens, rich with quiet wisdom. Exhaustion doesn't erase you, it shapes you. Like this land, worn by seasons, yet still it grows. The distant murmur of the creek echoes his words, a reminder of time's patient carving. You're not less for it, you're more, stronger in ways you don't always see. He looks to the horizon, where the gold of dusk lingers and adds, where all fields like this, scarred by storms, but alive with what comes after. The air shifts, carrying the faint scent of wildflowers, tying you back to that opening stillness. Rest isn't surrender, it's trust. In yourself, in time, in the way the wind keeps moving. His voice softens, expansive, threading through the rustle of grass, the cool touch of evening settling on your skin. You've earned this freedom not by pushing harder, but by standing here, letting it find you. The field breathes with you, its vastness a mirror to your own resilience, and hope rises, gentle as the fatting light, solid as the ground beneath your feet. The farmer's voice grows quieter now, a soft breath blending with the wind as he steps back, his outline softening against the field. You'll be all right, he murmurs, and the words linger, warm as the last rays of sun brushing your shoulders. The grass sways slower, its rustle fading into a tender hush, and the air cools, wrapping you in a gentle embrace. Overhead, the sky deepens to a velvet blue, stars pricking through one by one, their light a faint shimmer against the vastness. You feel the earth steady beneath you, its quiet strength rising through your boots, and the breeze carries the last traces of hay and dust, a final whisper of the day slipping away. He's almost gone now, just a shadow at the field's edge, but the peace he brought stays, settling into your chest like a long, slow exhale. The distant creek hums faintly, a thread of sound tying this moment to all the ones before, and the wildflowers bow their heads, their scent a fleeting gift against the night. You've walked this journey together through the wait, the memories, the letting go, and now the field holds you, its stillness a cradle for everything you felt. The farmer's presence fades fully, like a sigh carried off by the wind, and you're left with the soft creak of the tree, the coolness of the grass brushing your hands, the quiet promise of rest. Take this with you, the freedom, the lightness, the way the tall grass sways, brushing your stress into the wind. Tell me of a moment that lingers in your heart, down there in the comments, a memory, a feeling, something this field might hold for you. For now, let the breeze carry you. Let the stars watch over. Let the stillness be yours. Goodbye, friend, until the wind brings us back again.